Hi, I'm Josh Slager with Slager Outdoors. Thanks for joining us this week. On today's show, we're going to the Yukon, Canada to hunt an animal I thought I would never hunt, the mountain goat. Now we're going to be joining Terry and Ruth Wilkinson of Caesar Lake Outfitters in Watson Lake, Yukon, Canada. Great people, fantastic operation. If it wasn't for Terry, I would have never pursued this animal, and he talked me into it, and am I ever glad that he did. Now, I never thought that I would be hunting a mountain goat for two reasons. Number one, well, I'm not exactly what you would call goat shape. And number two, well, I'm not afraid of heights, but I certainly respect them. And goats live where sheep only go when they're scared. Have you ever been so excited to get somewhere that you could not contain yourself? Don't feel alone. It's happened to me too. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Speeding ticket. Just a speeding ticket. He liked hunting. His buddy hunts in the Yukon. Said this will be the cheapest ticket you ever got. I was actually doing about 15 kilometers over the speed limit, and I got a ticket for $5. Cost me 66 bucks versus, I don't know, a couple hundred. I feel like we're 150 bucks ahead. Well, we've just arrived in Watson Lake, checked in at our hotel, the Big Horn Hotel. Get a good night's sleep, get out there and hunt hard, really hard. Looking forward to it. I'll be excited. Okay, Ron's our pilot. Ron's going to get us into the bush safe and sound. Ron, how close to being overweight are we?
Yeah, we're right at the right weight.
Right at the right weight.
We're at 3,600 pounds. We're good to go.
Right on. Okay.
All right.
I don't like flying in a big airplane. This is not a big airplane. Whew. Your heart's going pitter patter. Whew. And here's my seatbelt.
So when we go in there, just so you know, it'll be a full performance landing. It'll be quite rough. We'll be doing a low and overpass of the strip there, and we'll be coming back around and landing. If you have any safety questions, let me know. There's a fire extinguisher located here. There's a survival kit, an emergency locator transmitter, and a satellite phone located in the rear of the aircraft. Emergency exits are obviously the exits on your left, and the one behind all the baggage there. To open the door in flight, it'll be the silver handle will be in the forward position just like this. Take the silver handle, bring it up to the top corner of the window, push the door out. Alternately, the window opens by lifting this little lever, pushing the button in and lifting the lever. Just like that. Finally made it. 6 hours later. The sorest rear end I've ever had. It's morning of day 3. It's actually the first day that we're going to be hunting. First day we got into camp. Just kind of got settled. Kind of got a game plan. And day 2 yesterday, we traveled for 6 hours, about between 18 and 20 miles.
Nice billy feeding up on the rock face there. Fabian and Terry have made an executive decision that we're going to go after this goat. It's a good sized goat, nice billy. Seen him on the other side of this mountain. Terry says it's a half-hour walk, so I times that times 4. So we'll see what we get there. I'm not exactly built like a mountain goat. The way up to the top. Maybe a little more than 3/4. Hopefully that goat's on the other side. Further review, it's a nanny. Onto a billy. As we're going down the mountain, we noticed on the other side there was a nanny and a kid going down. It was one of the most unbelievable things that I've ever seen, so we decided to stop and videotape it. That mountain that they're on is almost a sheer cliff. I see that mountain behind me? That's a mean mountain. We went right over top. You want to see some guys that are in shape? Terry and Fabian, unreal. Running up the mountain, down the mountain, and around the mountain. They don't know what I told them earlier. I said I'm going slow because I'm saving my energy for my night jog, my evening jog. Just kidding. Probably the biggest nightmare a hunter could have when you go on a long hunt that you've paid, a lot of money to go on way up in the middle of nowhere, you're far from civilization, is to get sick. I got sick in camp like I have never been sick in my life. I couldn't hardly stand up. I could hardly walk. I couldn't even hold a conversation. My eyesight was so blurry I couldn't concentrate or focus on somebody that was 5 feet in front of me. It was that bad. I had laid in bed for 2 days, unbelievably sick. I mean, man, me and the outhouse, we were buddies. It was terrible. I had a fever like I've never had. I couldn't get warm enough, and then, it was just bad. And I thought, if this thing doesn't go away, I had it now for 2 days, and I thought if it doesn't go away by morning, I'm gonna have to press the 911 button on the spot GPS or on the satellite phone, call somebody. I had to get out of there. I'll tell you, I was that sick. I've never been that sick in all my life. But I hung in there, and the next morning, I started to feel just a little bit better. Say something. Well, I don't know what day it is, but I'm over my bedridden disease. Just doing a little spotting here. Getting ready for a goat hunt tomorrow. Round 2 with the goats. Every mountain that we look on here has goats on it. Every mountain. It's unreal. I'm not so sure I really like goat hunting yet. I'm trying to tell myself I do. But I realize where goats live. You have no idea how bad I'd like to get a goat at the bottom of a mountain. I'd like to set a new record for the lowest goat. And the next day, I started to feel better. Let's check it out. Today is really only the second day that we're going to give her after some goats. Today we got like 6 goats on this one mountain. I got sick for a couple of days real bad. So we just kind of laid low in camp. Today we're going to give it a whirl to go up this mountain and see what happens. It's really overcast today. There's thunderstorms around. It's early in the morning yet. There's lots of time for it to clear out. So hopefully today's the day. When you're goat hunting, you don't want to make too many mistakes because going up and down that mountain takes its toll on you when you're not used to it. So. Alright. Terry and Fabian are just going to tie up the horses. We've made a plan. I get out here and I start realizing, that 2.5 days in camp, it took a lot out of me, and I was really sick, and I was having a hard time enough just walking around and, have enough energy to do that, never mind carry all my gear and my gun and everything else. And thankfully, Fabian, he volunteered to carry my gun up the mountain, and Terry put a bunch of my gear in his bag. Thanks, guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I could have never done it that day. I had to dig the deepest I've ever dug in my life to get up that mountain. The last thing I wanted to do was just sit in camp, and I needed to get out there. We only had a certain number of days to hunt, and it was coming to an end, within the next 10 days. And I mean, that sounds like a lot of days, but when you're trying to harvest a few animals, man, you need every day you can get. Let's go join in on that stalk and see how we made out. And I look up, and I'm only looking up because it's like, oh man, how much higher do we have to go to get to the top? And wouldn't you know it, there's a goat standing on the skyline of the mountain. And I'm like, wow, like unreal, like goats busted us. That's it, we're busted. So I tell Fabian, I'm like, Fabian, there's a goat. Well, panic sets in and just kind of hunker down there and see what's gonna happen.
Go, just wait till he turns. Just wait till he turns. Okay. Go, shoot. Take your time. Not too high. No. Let it go. He's going. He's going. Thank you, man. First one you shot a little too high, but yeah, you were shaking.
Yeah, I was shaking, man. I just,
You done it.
thank you.
Oh my goodness, I heard that scrape.
I know. Oh man. Folks, you have no idea how much work this is unless you tried it. Fabian here, he's a mountain goat. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes. Yeah. It's the first shot. I was shaking so bad that I felt like it was decent, but I was shaking. And Fabian's like, it's too high, too high. And I've got a scope with dead on accurate dots in it, Bushnell 6500 Elite. I used the wrong crosshairs, and I put it right back on him. I figured, okay, you know what? We've worked this hard to get here. Let's not wreck it. Let's not screw it up. And I just took my time and just squeezed real carefully. And I knew I'd made a good shot. I heard the bullet whomp, and I just knew it was a good one. And he only went maybe about 10 steps up the mountain, and he started coming down. And this goat is 100% credit to Fabian. Fabian's a Watson Lake resident, born and raised here. This is all he knows, hunting in the mountains. Let's go up there and put our hands on him. What an animal. I'll tell you what, after the last 5 days, I have the most incredible respect for these critters. They live in an area that I wouldn't even dream of being. A beautiful billy goat. We're up hunting here with Caesar Lake Outfitters in Yukon, Canada. I'll tell you what, do they have goats? If you want to do some goat hunting, this is the place to be. There's goats on every mountain. They're everywhere. It's unbelievable. If you do yourself a favor and you come here in the best shape possible, I'll guarantee you that you're going to get an absolutely top-notch goat that you probably won't find anywhere else in the world. But you got to be in shape to do it. I'm not, and I'm willing to admit it. I took sick in camp for a couple days. I was kind of bedridden, and Terry was pushing me real hard. He said, we got to get out there. We got to get goat hunting, Josh. You're a good trophy, and if it wasn't for Terry, I wouldn't be here. And this is an unbelievable trophy. I couldn't be more proud to take him. And I know next year I'm going to be in a lot better shape, and I'm going to have a lot more fun, guaranteed. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions or comments about today's show, please log on at slageroutdoors.com. Let us know what you think. Now stay tuned for a preview of next week's show. Next week, we're headed back to the Yukon to hunt my all-time favorite animal, the Alaskan Yukon bull moose.